Good angle. Wait, peekaboo. Wait, was that a sleeve? Was that a sleeve? Was that a sleeve? Was it? Hold on, let me try again. Okay, ready. Three, two, one. Peekaboo. Yeah, I probably need to stop doing that. That is very cringy. Um, okay. Let's cheers. Okay. Now let's start for real. Three, two, one, action. Hi, welcome back to my live stream. As you can tell, I am once again live in my closet. I'm once again live in my closet. Um, yeah, so this week for me has been, let's just say, the roughest I've ever had this year, and we're still in February. Okay. Um, Let me explain what happened. So, if you can't tell by the title of this live stream, or you just saw, I had got the flu. I had got the flu. I got the flu this week. Let that sit in. I got the flu this week. Hello. Yeah, so I got the flu this week, and it was not fun, to say the least. But also this week, kind of my most chaotic week, I will say, and for many reasons. So let me just like break down really what had happened. So Monday, okay, so Monday, I had woken up for my job, okay? I had woken up and I had a stuffy nose. Now, really though, I wasn't sure or like 100% believe that I did have a flu or I had a fever or I was sick because I just had a stuffy nose. So, really though, I just thought that maybe it was just allergies and we're currently in allergy season, right? So, yeah. Um but it wasn't until later when I got to my job and I was still feeling okay. But then around like the middle of my shift, something happened. So there was a point in my shift where basically I had like a whole group of people sitting behind me, and all of a sudden I just went deaf. I went deaf, meaning there were people behind me and they were making noises, but I was deaf, meaning that I couldn't hear like anything. I couldn't hear what anybody was saying. Um, oh, and to answer this question, am I gay? No, I'm bisexual. You got a bisexual. Hi. Anyways, so I was deaf for God knows how long, and it wasn't until like at some point also in the middle of my shift, I started feeling dizzy, and then one of my coworkers had to walk me outside because I was just not feeling good. Okay? I was just not feeling good. Okay? I couldn't think straight. I couldn't keep my balance. I basically had to have my hand, like, I had to, like, put myself up against a wall just to, like, not lose my balance. And there was a point where I had to sit in a chair because I just couldn't really stand. So, yeah. And all of a sudden, my vision just kept on getting blurry, like in and out in focus. And it wasn't until, well, yeah, it wasn't until like almost at like 3 or so hours before I was supposed to clock out of my job for that day that my coworker told me that I look like I was going to pass out at any moment, and they basically dragged me outside. Well, meaning, well, by drag, I mean my coworkers had to basically help me walk outside because I was apparently very sweaty. I was looking very pale than, well, my normal paleness, I guess. And I just looked like someone who couldn't even like form a full sentence without almost like pausing. And well, once I was outside, honestly though, that's when I just like broke down. That's when I just broke down. So like meaning that I just flat out just went onto the ground. And when that happened, I was just like, oh God. And I kid you not, I generally had never had this happen to me before. I've never, I've actually never had this happen to me before. And when it did, my first mind was, well, actually, no, my first thought was, what do I do? This has never happened to me before. Um, so yeah. And at first though, I thought maybe I was just, going through some anxieties because we were packed. Okay, we were very packed, but I've dealt with, a lot of stressful things before when we have been packed before, but it just never was to the point where my body just decided to like give up on me. Like mid shift just give up on me. And when I was outside, I was able to take a breather. I was outside for like maybe 30 minutes before my boss, I think one of my bosses, yeah, one of my managers had came and said, "Hey, I'm sending you home right now. Okay, you are going home right now. You look very tired. You pretty much were on the verge of fainting, like right in front of our eyes, and you have scared not only your coworkers but also the guest." And yeah, apparently there were people who I scared because, well, meaning that apparently I scared them because it looked like I was on the verge of literally passing out. And when I heard that, I was just like, okay. And so for that time being, I had basically had to pick myself back up, and I was like, I'm very sorry for all this. And they told me to drink some fluids. One of them gave me like a Gatorade or something like that, and they said, okay, here you go, and clock out and go home. And that's basically what I did. They handed me my drink. I went and clocked out of work that day, and then I went home. And it wasn't until when I got back from my job that I got my temperature checked to see what happened. And apparently, I was spiking a fever. I was spiking a fever. I had gotten the flu when honestly, I don't even know how I got the flu. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how I got the flu, okay? I made sure I was staying safe. I was washing my hands. I was basically doing everything to stay precautious because from what I've been told, currently right now, where I'm at, the flu is going around, and apparently I became one of the flu's next victim or whatever. And well, pretty much, yeah. I uh I guess the flu founded me as its new target, and I kid you not, the flu sucked. It sucked. It sucked, okay? I was bedridden for about like 2 days. Um, yeah. And here's the thing though, I don't really know much about like I can only remember like certain glimpses before my little incident at work on Monday, meaning me almost passing out at my job. So the day before, and I do remember this, the day before, which was Sunday, it was the middle of my shift, and there was a point in my shift where basically it was like every 30 minutes I was just sneezing, and I kid you not, I was just sneezing and sneezing and sneezing and sneezing and sneezing. And at first I thought maybe, allergies. That's like the first thing that came into my mind. Okay, the flu was never on my mind. That my first thought was, okay, it's allergies. It's allergies. Okay, that's why I'm sneezing. And when I tell you I was sneezing a lot, I was sneezing a lot. Like every every 30 or so minutes on Sunday, I was sneezing and sneezing like clockwork. And when I got home later that night, I remembered I felt my body was just like sweaty or something. I don't know. I assumed it was because like the heater was turned on too much in my room, but yeah. However, though, yeah, and then the next morning, and when I tried to go to work, and yeah, I basically was getting the flu. Hello there, vlog. I'm okay. I just recovered from the flu. I just recovered from the flu. So for the 2 days I was bedridden for the flu. I had to take some medication, and I really couldn't get out of bed unless I had to either shower or use the bathroom. And yeah, that was pretty much it. I couldn't even like get up to like move anywhere or even um like create content because that's normally what I would do. Like I would try to create content on here, but because I was sick, I couldn't get out of bed to do pretty much nothing. Okay? I couldn't do anything. I couldn't get out of bed to record a video on my phone or anything like that. So, if you saw that I only posted like two short videos, do know on those 2 days I was sick as a dog. So, really, I couldn't post more videos throughout the week on here. So, I'm sorry. Um, yeah, I do remember you, vlog. How you doing? Hopefully you're doing okay. So yeah, I couldn't post my other short videos this week because I was sick and basically I couldn't I generally could not um make a video to even save my life. Let's just say that. Let's just say that. So, yeah, that's basically what had happened. Hello, Reese. So what else? Are you LGBTQ plus? I am bisexual. I'm attracted to women and men. Although apparently I am a lazy bisexual because I don't date enough. Like I could share stories about yeah, I could make stories about my dating life being like, eh. Your health comes first. Yeah, exactly. I was trying to take care of my health first. Um, do you know I have make my face sketch and post it onto my channel? Oh, okay. Yas, queen. Yes. Can I make your sketch? Sure, go on right ahead. You can make my sketch if you want. Cool. Thank you, Reese. Yeah, so I'm bisexual and yeah. But anyway, so yeah. 2 days I was bedridden with the flu, and during those 2 days, I kid you not, Tuesday, Tuesday, I pretty much did something that I regret. And what that was is I had accidentally taken too much of the recommended dosage for my flu medication, okay? Because the next thing I don't remember or know, but apparently other people know, and this is embarrassing by the way. Um, I had basically gotten myself high on flu medication. So, And by that, I mean I was very loopy. And apparently, I was posting my loopy brain self on my Instagram stories, and people saw that. People saw that. And I was just like, wow. And here's the thing though, it wasn't until like the next day though, so like Wednesday. Wednesday was pretty much the day I got better. Like the flu was just like entering right out of my body, and pretty much I was able to like get out of bed and go for like a morning run, but I was taking it slow because, I was recovering from the flu. But yeah, I had looked on my stories and I was like, "Oh my God, I just posted this stuff while I was on Theraflu." And looking back on that, I realized, I realized I should not have a phone. I should have not have a phone. Okay, I should not have a phone while I'm medicated. Okay, I should not because I don't know what could happen. Okay, let's just say that I don't know what could happen. I'm just thankful I didn't post anything like here on YouTube or anything like on TikTok or anything like that. But because I know for a fact I'd probably get banned. But yeah. Do you find it hard to get a boyfriend? Yes. Yes. So to cat love music, do I find it hard to get a boyfriend? Yes. So I am 24, almost 25. Okay, bye. Good night. Uh, Good night vlog. Sleep tight. So yeah. Here's the thing though. I actually once had a boyfriend. Okay. I actually once did. Um, and this was 2 years ago, I think. So before I started like going live on here, I think back in 2024. I think I don't know, but basically I had met someone, and we at first I thought we like clicked and all that, meaning like we both love the same hobbies and all that, but we became long distance, and yeah, it was hard, and pretty much we broke up. Yeah. So that was like 2 years ago. So yeah. Long distance sucks. Okay? Long distance sucks. That is all I can say. Okay? That is all I can say. And to be specific, this person lived in another country. This person. Oh wait, no, that wasn't back in 2024. That was back in 2021. That was back in 2021. I just remember that. Sorry, I'm still trying to recover from the flu, and currently my brain's just being like, eh. But yeah, I'd met someone, thought we could be perfect match, but he lived in another country, and I lived in this one, so obviously it did not work out. So yeah, yeah. So that's me. Yeah. Um, if you ask me about my current dating life right now, I would tell you it is laughable. It is laughable because I've tried many times in my dating life, okay? I will be honest, it is very hard dating in your 20s, okay? It is very hard dating in your 20s because because there's like a few certain expectations or like ideas, I guess, in your head that you think, okay, me and this person are dating, we're talking, it seems to be going all good, and then immediately something bad happens, and you're just like, well, okay, my heart's been broken. Let's move on, I guess. I don't know. So yeah, dating in your 20s is definitely hard. It's a little bit, I guess it pretty much is like a little bit harder than like dating and you're like when you're like a teenager, because when you're a teenager, there's really like not that much. I want to say like there's not that much like crazy expectations because a lot of people who date as teenagers, I've even dated as a teenager, okay? So I'm not calling anyone else out. I mean, like I said, I've dated as a teenager, and let's just say teenage heartbreak does suck. So, Yeah. But yeah, it is. I think dating as a teenager versus dating in your 20s, the difference is like, well, as a teenager, you're young, you're full of like life and excitement and thinking about all these promises before graduation versus when you're dating in your 20s as an adult, it's like, okay, I just want to talk to to this person, see if there's a vibe. But if there's like nothing, or if I spot any red flags, then immediately it's like date's over. Okay, peace out, goodbye. I ain't gonna see you again. Don't contact me, and do not swipe right on me on any dating apps. as as literally it. So, yeah. That's the worst. Yep, it is the worst. Hey, how are you? I am fine. I'm just recovering from the flu. Or I should fully be recovered from the flu. I just hope that next week on Monday I'm able to get through an entire shift and not have a repeat of this week. But yeah. So, anything else really that happened to me this week? I had celebrated my brother's birthday, one of my siblings' birthdays. My brother is now 26, which means it's officially less than 3 months until I turn 25. Yep. I can't believe I am turning 25 in like 3 months. um, I'm gonna be honest, 25, just like it's slowly creeping up there. Um, so yeah, so my older brother though, he's 26. So both him and we're 15 months apart. We're 15 months apart. He was born February 2000. I was born May 2001. So 15 months apart. And excuse me, sorry. I guess you say that like kind of makes us close, I guess. I don't know, but we definitely were in like one grade separate from each other in our school years. So like in high school, I was a freshman, my older brother, he was a sophomore, then I was a sophomore and he was a junior. No, 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 no. We're not Irish twins. Irish twins are those who are born less than 12 months apart. Me and my older brother, we were born 15 months apart. So we're still considered siblings, not Irish twins, okay? We're not Irish twins. We never were. We never were. We were just born um obviously a year apart, and we obviously, we were in different grades. One was a grade above while the other was a grade below. But yeah. However, though, in my family though, Um, there are a few Irish twins, though. I will be honest, there are a few Irish twins, or like very rarely Irish twins in my family. But yeah, not a whole lot of us. Um, I think though, yeah, I think it's still like, me and my older brother, we were able to still like have a closeness with each other, even though like I said, he's a year and 3 months older than me, and I'm a year and 3 months younger than him. We're still able to have like a sibling relationship, even if we were just like a year and a few months apart. So, yeah. Plus, he graduated in 2018 while I graduated in 2019. So, yeah. Yeah, we were actually, I think we were I don't know, we might have been the only, no way, there's my older sibling, no wait, my older sibling. I have other older siblings that graduated in the 2010s, but yeah. How many siblings do you have, if you don't mind me asking? How many siblings do I have? I have a total of eight. Eight. Okay, I have eight altogether, but some are from separate marriages, if that makes sense. So to be exact of like how many siblings specifically I have, or or how my siblings and I all work together. So me and my two younger siblings, I have two younger siblings. we are from our parents' first marriage. Okay, so me and my two younger siblings are from our parents' first marriages. Then our parents divorced. Okay, then our parents divorced. Then my father married my stepmom, and my stepmom had four kids. Okay, four kids. So I ended up with my first four step siblings, um, two that are older than me, two that are also younger than me. So yeah, there's that. And then my mother, she married my stepfather, although she actually married she was the first one who actually married my stepfather first before my father married my stepmom years later. Um, yeah, and my stepfather has two kids from his previous marriage that are both older than me. So, yeah. So how it goes is one of my step siblings, so like stepsister, stepbrother, but we call each other brothers because we're a year or so apart, but also we have known each other. Me, my biological sibling, my stepbrother, and my kid stepsister. So, nine kids. Nine kids, separate marriages. Um, One where there are seven kids in total, and the other one um, that is five kids in total. So, there you go. I mean, it's not really like that complicated to explain it, you know? It's just more like um I don't know. I'd have to like draw. I feel like the best way I can explain it would be if one day I like actually if I draw like an actual like diagram of me and my siblings, but yeah. I'm the eldest of six siblings. Oh, I am so sorry for you. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. But yeah. So yeah, that's how many siblings I got. We all love each other, but a lot of us are at different age gaps. So like my stepsister, she was born in 1994, whereas my little step kid sister, she was born in 2013. So that's a millennial, that's a Gen Alpha. And the rest of us were just Gen Zs. We're Gen Zs. So, yeah, there you go. Gen Z. I'm a Gen Z. I was born 2001. So, yeah. But, yeah. So, anyways. The only other thing that happened this week was I had like leg cramps from running, and well, I took some Tylenol last night, and now I feel better. So, yeah. But yeah, overall this week, okay, so obviously the one main thing I do want to take away from this, that I have learned this week was that I really need to pay more attention to my body. I need to listen to what my body is telling me. Like if I am like sneezing constantly or something like that, then I either need to like fully understand if like I actually do have allergies, or I gotta go home and check to make sure I'm not running a flu or anything like that. And another thing is that I also want to be precautious and because I don't want to get anybody sick. And even though at that moment I didn't know I was actually getting sick, I just hope I did not get anybody else sick because I work in a kitchen. I work in a kitchen as a chef, so I have to make sure like I I did not like, infect the food or anything like that because that could actually be very bad. That can be very bad. So, that is something that I had uh I had to learn. I had to learn. So, yeah. And another thing is, I shouldn't be so stubborn for help. Because here's the thing though, while I was just, going through not knowing that I was slowly making myself sick, there were people that wanted to help, but I just kept saying, no, no, I got this, even though my body was screaming for me to like stop, okay, stop and listen, okay, and yeah, there were pretty much moments where like I needed to listen to my brain or something like that, or like actually listen to my body, like have a moment to be like, okay, your body is not doing okay. You are you are clearly tired. You are clearly getting sick. You need to ask for help. And when my coworkers were asking for help too, I just kept on saying, no, no, it's okay. But eventually, I think, when my coworkers had pretty much saw me and realized, I wasn't looking good, that was the moment I realized, oh, okay. That's when I need to ask for help. Yeah. Yeah. And another thing is that I remember coming in today for work. But also, I remember on the same day, I was making phone calls to like my bosses, my managers, all my other coworkers, because apparently a few of them wanted to check up on me. I ended up basically apologizing for getting sick. Now, I know that sounds weird, but that's basically is true. I had apologized and said to my bosses and my coworkers saying, "Hey, I'm very sorry that I had gotten sick. I'm very sorry that I just was not listening to my body. I'm very sorry. I didn't mean to cause all that commotion." And although they were all telling me it was fine, it was fine, it was fine, it was fine. In my brain though, in like my brain, I was just like, it is my fault for some reason. Like, I don't know how to explain like why I was thinking it was my fault that I got sick, but yeah. Because here's the thing though, I did not know I was getting sick, okay? I did not know I was, okay? I was completely clueless up until my one of my managers that was there basically had told me to leave, okay? Leave, because they did not want me here much later than sooner, because I clearly looked like I was on the verge of easily ending up in the ER. So, easily ending up in the emergency room. So, yeah. Um yeah. And then this morning when I did go to work, I don't know why, I saw my one of my bosses. I went up to her and say, "Hey, how you doing?" And she saw me and she was like, "Good, how are you feeling?" And I said, "I'm good, I'm alive." And we joked about it, and then I had apologized. I had apologized again for getting sick. And she just looked at me and went, "It's fine, it's fine, it's fine." Now, here's the thing though. That one boss I have, she is someone who I definitely treat with respect, and a whole lot, a whole lot of respect, because although she can be a sweet person, like this specific boss can be like sweet and kind and understanding and, you know, all that and like rainbows and such. There are moments where basically she can be very strict and she means business, and she doesn't like try to make that like her whole personality being the boss at like, work. Which, yeah, that's what I respect her for. She is a good, nice person. She is a sweet, kind-hearted person, but at the same time, she doesn't tolerate any like lagging or anything like that, and she is not a pushover. So, yeah. So, she's a fun boss, but also there are times where she can be like a fun boss, but also when she's a strict boss, you'd know. So, yeah. So I was very thankful for that. Yeah. I did see my coworkers though. A few of my coworkers did say hi to me. They did say hi to me and ask those who were there when they saw me nearly passing out on Monday. They had saw me and they were like, "So, how are you feeling?" And I'm like, and I just told them I'm feeling fine now, but I'm really sorry for all the crazy stuff that happened. And they were just like, you know what is perfectly fine as long as you are okay, you're back, you're healthy, you actually took care of yourself, that is fine. And here's the thing though that I don't know if I had ever mentioned or forgotten to mention in the beginning of this live stream. This was the first time actually, okay? This was the first time ever in my life where at my job, specifically this job, and any other job I have had, where I basically had pushed my body pretty much too much to the point where my body was nearly giving up on itself, and I was as stubborn as my grandfather, as stubborn as my grandfather, not listening to it. So, yeah. But yeah. But now I am slowly trying to basically, I guess you can say like regain or something like that, my or recharge or relearn or I don't know what's the word I'm trying to think of. Basically, I'm trying to take notes or learn from this experience that has taught me basically that I need to listen to my body. Okay, I need to listen to my body, and I need to not constantly like over apologize for basically being human, meaning in this case, getting sick out of nowhere, okay, out of nowhere, or I was getting sick, but I was just blindsided. So, by my own, yeah, I was blindsided by my own, I don't know how to explain it, but basically just me wanting to get to work because it was also pay week this week. I got paid yesterday, so, yeah. Oh, there's that. Yeah. So, this week's life lesson for me, I guess, even though I don't think I've ever said that before in a live stream, or maybe I have, I don't know. But this week, I had definitely learned that I need to pay attention to my body and make sure that I am properly taking care of it. And I hope me sharing this story about how I got the flu and how I almost passed out at my job, I hope you take it and learn it, and learn from my mistake, and yeah, learn from my mistake and try not to do what I did, and just remember you're human, you're only human, and don't try to put your body too much, or else your body will most likely quit on you. And trust me when I say you do not want that. You do not. Hmm. Okay. So I am gonna end the live stream for today for now. Thank you all to everyone who's shown up on my live stream. Thank you for letting me share my story, I guess, about how my week was. I've been really enjoying like just taking Saturdays as times where like I can just sit in my closet, like wait. Sorry. Yeah. Wait. Peekaboo. Hey. it, why you gotta do me that dirty? Okay. Um, yeah. So, anyways, I'm gonna be live again tomorrow, and don't worry, I will be doing something very artsy tomorrow. I don't know if I'm gonna be drawing or painting. I don't know. You're just gonna have to wait and see for tomorrow. I always go live around 3 p.m. Eastern time, so make sure you hit the bell notification so you can be notified when I go live. And if you enjoyed this live stream, make sure you hit the like button. And if you are new here, please hit the subscribe button and subscribe to my channel. And yeah, I hope you have a good day and or night. I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow. And now let's see who the top 5 were for today. So top 5 um, people who have been on my live stream. At number 1, we have Servant, you are number 1. At number 2, we have Vlog. At number 3, we have Nikita. Nikita, hopefully I'm saying that right. At number 4, we have Lord. And at number 5, we have Reese. Congratulations to the top 5. Thank you for showing up here. Oh, and also a shout out to Camo and Kura. Excuse me, sorry. Shout out to Camo and Kura's Pocket of Fun 143. I hope I said that word right. If I said it wrong, I'm very sorry. But shout out to this user's name, okay? Yeah. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. So, yeah, can't wait to see you. And as always, take care, stay safe, and have a good day and or night. And see you tomorrow, okay? Mwah. Bye.